Welcome to the Cenario Podcast, your guide to mental health and well-being. Each episode, we uncover practical tools, discuss expert insights, and explore how supplements can transform your mental health journey. Get ready to learn, grow, and thrive with us.
All right, ready to dive deep? Today, it's all about CBT. We're going to sift through some really interesting stuff you sent over. It's an excerpt from a PDF all about cognitive behavioral therapy.
Yeah, great choice. It's a really good foundation for understanding the core principles,
So let's start with the basics for anyone who might be new to this. What exactly is CBT?
Well, at its core, CBT is a type of psychotherapy that focuses on the interconnectedness of our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. It basically provides tools and techniques to identify and modify negative thought patterns and ultimately change those unhelpful behaviors.
So kind of like a domino effect. If you can change your thoughts, you can change how you feel and then how you act.
Exactly. It's about understanding that our thoughts aren't always accurate, They're not always reflections of reality, but they can have a huge impact on our emotions and actions.
And that's where CBT steps in, right? To give you the skills to challenge those unhelpful thoughts and create more positive experiences. But it's not just some trendy new age fad, right? It's actually got a pretty solid history behind it.
Oh, absolutely. CBT has roots in the work of pioneers like Aaron Beck and Albert Ellis, and their research really helped establish the link between what we think and how we feel, our emotional well-being.
So this isn't just like a self-help trendy thing. It's rooted in real science and research. Okay, so let's dig into how this mind-body connection actually works in CBT.
Well, one of the key principles is that our thoughts, our feelings, and our behaviors, they're all constantly influencing each other.
Okay.
Like, for example, let's say you have a negative thought, like, I'm going to totally fail this presentation. That thought might trigger, feelings of anxiety and then lead to avoiding all the preparation.
Yeah, totally makes sense. And CBT helps to, I guess, break that cycle by targeting those negative thoughts.
Exactly. And what distinguishes CBT from, let's say, traditional talk therapy is that it's more action-oriented.
Okay.
It's about equipping individuals with the actual tools, techniques to actively change their thinking, their behavior patterns, not just, sitting around and discussing them.
It's like learning a new skill set,
Yeah.
like a mental toolkit that you can use to navigate challenges and improve your, emotional well-being.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the tools in this mental toolkit, right?
Yeah.
The PDF that you sent over, it mentions some really intriguing techniques. I'm particularly curious about this thing called cognitive restructuring.
Yeah, cognitive restructuring. That's really a cornerstone of CBT.
Okay.
It involves identifying and then challenging those automatic negative thoughts, the ones that just pop into our minds without us even realizing it.
Yeah.
It's like putting those thoughts on trial and examining the evidence.
So instead of letting those negative thoughts run wild, you learn to question them. Like, hold on a second, is this thought even true? Or is there another way to look at this situation?
Exactly. The goal is to replace those distorted thoughts with more balanced and realistic ones. And the source actually gives a really good example. Imagine you keep thinking, I'm going to completely mess up this job interview. With cognitive restructuring, you'd actually examine the evidence. Do I even have the qualifications? Have I prepared well?
Right. Instead of assuming the worst, you're encouraged to kind of look at the situation objectively and consider the possibility of, success.
Precisely. And that shift in thinking can actually have a powerful impact on how you feel and how you behave. Instead of feeling defeated, before you even start, you might actually feel more confident and prepared.
It's almost like reframing the narrative in your mind. Instead of I'm going to fail, it becomes I'm going to do my best and see what happens.
Exactly. It's about shifting from that negative, self-defeating mindset to a more positive and empowering one. And speaking of empowering techniques, there's another one that often gets people's attention. It's called exposure therapy.
Ooh, this one sounds a bit intense. Isn't that about like facing your fears head on?
That's the basic idea, but in a very controlled and gradual way, of course. It's incredibly effective for anxiety disorders, phobias, even PTSD.
So let's say someone has a fear of spiders. You'd slowly expose them to spiders, like starting with maybe pictures and then eventually work up to like the real deal.
Yeah, that's a simplified version, but yeah. The key is that it's done gradually and with the support of therapists, to make sure that the person feels safe and empowered throughout the process.
Right. The source mentions that exposure therapy helps to like desensitize individuals to their fears. So it's about retraining your brain to like not freak out.
Yeah.
But how does that actually work, like on a neurological level?
Well, when we repeatedly confront a feared stimulus, but in a safe environment, our brain starts to learn that the threat isn't as dangerous as we perceive it to be. And this process leads to a decrease in the activity of the amygdala, which is the part of the brain that's responsible for our fear response.
So you're basically rewiring your brain's fear circuitry. Instead of triggering a panic attack, those triggers gradually become less and less threatening.
Exactly. It's about changing the way your brain responds to those stimuli. The source also mentions different types of exposure therapy, like in vivo exposure, where you actually confront the feared object or situation in real life, and imaginal exposure, where you vividly imagine the feared stimulus.
Oh, that's fascinating. So your brain kind of can't tell the difference between like a real and imagined experience when it comes to processing fear.
That's right. And the choice of which exposure technique to use kind of depends on the nature of the fear and the individual's needs. So, moving on from those specific anxieties and phobias, what about those negative thought patterns that aren't necessarily linked to a specific fear but still kind of hold us back?
Oh, you mean those pesky, I'm not good enough or I'll never succeed kind of thoughts?
Exactly. That's where behavioral experiments come in. Remember how we talked about cognitive restructuring, challenging those negative thoughts? Well, behavioral experiments take it a step further. They involve actually testing those thoughts in real life.
Oh, interesting. So putting those negative thoughts to the test and seeing if they actually hold up under scrutiny.
Exactly. Let's say you believe that if you ask for a raise, your boss is going to reject you and think you're ungrateful. With a behavioral experiment, you challenge that belief by actually asking for that raise and seeing what happens.
And who knows, you might be pleasantly surprised by the outcome.
Exactly. You gather real-world evidence that challenges your negative assumptions. And this can be really powerful in breaking free from those limiting beliefs that prevent us from pursuing our goals. But all of these techniques are great, but how do we know this isn't just like a bunch of feel-good psychology? Is there real science backing this up?
Yeah.
Absolutely. CBT's effectiveness is supported by a wealth of scientific evidence. Numerous studies have shown its success in treating a wide range of mental health conditions, from anxiety and depression to PTSD and insomnia.
So it's not just anecdotal evidence. There's actual research showing that this stuff works.
Exactly. In fact, the American Psychological Association actually considers CBT to be as effective as medication for many conditions.
Well, that's a powerful statement. As effective as medication, what are the implications of that?
Well, it suggests that CBT can be a first-line treatment for many mental health issues, either alone or in combination with medication. It also highlights the fact that mental health treatment doesn't always have to involve pharmaceuticals.
Right. That's really empowering. It means that we have more options than ever before when it comes to taking care of our mental well-being. Speaking of options, you mentioned earlier that CBT isn't just about therapy, it's a more holistic approach.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
Well, while therapy is a crucial part of CBT, it's not the whole story. There's a growing understanding that lifestyle factors like exercise, nutrition, sleep, and even certain supplements can play a really significant role in enhancing mental health.
So it's about looking at the bigger picture and making changes that support your mental well-being from all angles.
Exactly. Think of it this way. CBT provides you with the mental tools and techniques to change your thinking and behavior patterns. But a healthy lifestyle can create an environment that supports those changes and makes them more sustainable.
I like that. It's like building a foundation for mental wellness. So what are some lifestyle changes that can, complement CBT?
Well, exercise is a big one. We all know that physical activity is good for our bodies, but it's also incredibly beneficial for our minds. Exercise has been shown to reduce stress, improve mood, and even enhance cognitive function.
Yeah, so hitting the gym isn't just about those six-pack abs. It's about building mental resilience as well.
Precisely. And it doesn't have to be strenuous exercise either. Even moderate activities like walking, swimming, or dancing can have a positive impact on your mental well-being.
Right, right. What about nutrition? Does what we eat really affect how we think and feel?
Absolutely. There's a growing body of research highlighting the link between diet and mental health. A balanced diet, rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean protein can provide the nutrients your brain needs to function optimally.
So that old saying, you are what you eat, applies to our brains as well.
It really does. The food we consume provides the building blocks for neurotransmitters, which are crucial for regulating mood, sleep, and cognitive function.
Okay, I'm sold. I'm adding more leafy greens and brain-boosting berries to my shopping list. But what about those supplements you mentioned earlier? How can they play a role in supporting mental well-being alongside CBT?
Well, while supplements should never be considered a replacement for therapy or a healthy lifestyle, certain nutrients have been shown to support cognitive function, reduce stress, and promote emotional balance. They can be like adding extra reinforcements to your mental wellness toolkit.
Oh, interesting. So they're like little helpers that can amplify the effects of CBT. I'm intrigued. Tell me more about these mental health superheroes.
Well, one of the most well-known is omega-3 fatty acids. These healthy fats are essential for brain health, and they've been linked to reducing symptoms of depression and anxiety.
Okay, omega-3's got it. I've heard that you can find them in fatty fish, like salmon and tuna, right?
Yeah, exactly. You can also get them from plant-based sources like flaxseed and walnuts.
Okay, good to know.
And another interesting one is L-theanine.
L-theanine, okay.
It's an amino acid, and you can find it in green tea.
Oh, wow.
It's known for its calming effects and its ability to actually reduce stress without making you drowsy.
So sipping green tea can actually be like a mini meditation session for your mind.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so we've got omega-3s for brain power. We've got L-theanine for, like, chill vibes. What other supplements are on your radar?
Another one worth considering is SAM,
Okay.
or S-adenosylmethionine. It's a naturally occurring compound in the body, and it plays a role in mood regulation.
Okay.
And studies have shown that SAMe can be as effective as some antidepressants in treating mild to moderate depression.
So I've got omega-3s for brain power, L-theanine for chill vibes, and SAMe for mood balance. It's like we're building a mental health smoothie here. But, you know, it's important to remember that supplements aren't like a one-size-fits-all solution, right?
Oh, absolutely. What works for one person might not work for another. And it's always best to consult with your doctor or a healthcare professional before adding any supplements to your routine. Of course, yeah. Personalized guidance is key. But okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today. From the core principles of CBT to the power of lifestyle changes and supplements. I'd love to touch on one more point before we wrap up. The source mentions that CBT isn't just about feeling better. It's about learning to think differently and develop those lasting coping skills. That really stuck with me.
Yeah, that's a really crucial point. CBT gives you the tools and the skills that you can use, throughout your life to navigate challenges, manage stress, maintain your emotional well-being. It's like learning a new language for understanding and managing your thoughts and emotions.
It's an investment in your long-term mental health.
Exactly.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive into CBT, I want to leave our listeners with a final thought-provoking question. What's one small change you can make today to start shifting your thinking and building a more resilient mind?
It could be as simple as, noticing those negative thoughts that pop up and challenging them, or taking a few minutes to practice mindfulness.
Right. Maybe it's exploring those supplements we talked about and seeing if they can provide an extra boost to your mental well-being.
If you're looking for high-quality supplements, I encourage you to check out Cenario.com. They offer a really wide range of options and resources to help you find the perfect fit for your needs.
Great. So whether you're just starting your CBT journey or you're looking for additional support, there are resources out there to help you along the way.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. CBT isn't a one-size-fits-all approach. It's flexible, and it can be adapted to meet, your individual needs, your goals.
And most importantly, it empowers you to take control of your mental health and create positive change that lasts. So as you go about your day, keep that question in mind. What's one small step you can take today to start shifting your thinking and building a more resilient mind? And until next time, keep diving deep, keep learning, and keep taking those small steps toward a brighter, more empowered you.
Thanks for joining us on this exploration of CBT. We hope you gain some valuable insights and feel inspired to take charge of your mental well-being.
You have the power to change your thoughts. And in doing so, you have the power to change your life. Keep exploring, keep growing, and we'll see you on our next deep dive.
Thanks for tuning in to the Cenario podcast. Don't forget to visit Cenario.com for more expert tips, articles, and supplements designed to support your mental health. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself.